look at steaks now, and different ways of cooking steak and different steaks. So what we've got here, fillet, sirloin, and your ribeye. Which one are we going for?
May I try the fillets, because it's completely out of character?
I'll go for the ribeye, because quite often I have the sirloin.
Okay, so out of these three, they are all tender cuts of meat. You're looking at it being most tender, moving across slightly less tender as you move across that way. However, what does increase as you move across that way is the flavour.
So most tender, least flavoursome.
Yeah.
Most expensive.
Yes. All right.
Yes,
Okay,
I'll go along
so
with that, yeah.
when you're cooking steaks, first of all, with a fillet, what you need to do is, if you're cooking lots of steaks, is to make sure you look at the size of them and that they are all the same thickness. Otherwise, you're going to have them all cooking at different rates.
Right.
The other thing is that to always have a look at the thickness, and you can see on these ones that if you cook that just in the pan, you're going to end up with a very cremated outside. With the sirloin, what we've got on here, you can just cook it into the pan and you don't need to finish it off in the oven. However, what you have got lying along here is the fat and then quite a bit of sinew lying underneath there. And sinew on meat basically causes it to curl. What we need to do with this is, if you're going to keep the fat on, when you're cooking it in the pan, you need to actually put it down in the pan for some time like that. So it's actually going to, doesn't matter whether it's first, I'd probably put it down first like that, then turn it onto its side, just to render all of that fat and to get it nice and crispy.
Why would you keep the fat on? Is it tasty?
Taste-wise,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
But what's a good idea with this sinew that's underneath, which some people do, is to just get some scissors and give the odd little snip along where the thick sinew is, so it stops it curling too much.
I'm with you.
So that would then be also cooked just in the pan. And with your ribeye, which is what you're going to be doing, Tommy, that will be just again cooked in the pan. Although they're pretty thick steaks, if you were going to have this more like medium, you probably need to finish it off in the oven.
Just take one?
You just need to take one, and you need to make sure that your steak is always room temperature, because if you're going to have it rare, the centre will be cold. If it's room temperature, it's not going to be freezing cold in the middle. And then you need to make sure that before you cook it, you season it really, really well.
With salt and pepper?
Salt and pepper, which is just on the side there. So if you grab the salt and pepper, because what you should do is season it before so that the salt actually gets through into the meat and flavours it. If you do it afterwards, all you're going to end up with is a salty crust on the outside,
Would
but
you
not
stick
actually
it in
through.
and then both sides?
Yeah, both sides. So generous with the salt,
Yeah, I like salt, that's not a problem.
and then flick them over and do them the same on the other side.
Do I?
That's it, yeah, rub
Can I
that
just
in,
rub
just
that
so
in,
that it's
just
all,
to make sure
just give yours a little
it's
bit of a,
impregnated into the meat.
that's lovely.
Turn it over.
If you season that and then left them though for 10 minutes and came back, what it does actually do is draws the moisture out. So it needs to be just as you're about to go into the pan. I think if we just have a quick feel over the top of those.
So first of all, we ramp it up hot.
Yeah.
And then just before we put the meat in, we reduce the heat.
We're going to reduce it down just
Okay.
so that they don't get too
Oh, then
brown.
do we put them in together?
Yep, you can pop them in at the same time, that's lovely. You will find when you first put a piece of meat into the pan, it will stick.
Yes.
And that's when you all get your tongs in and start trying to prod it and turn it and everything like that. You don't need to. What will happen is once the meat has caramelised
Sealed, yeah.
and sealed, it will then release naturally. It self-releases. Because if you tried to move that now, you'd find that it's quite stuck to the pan. So what we'll do is find that it self-releases and then we can turn it over.
Okay.
Are you timing?
So to learn when it's caramelised, you perhaps stick your fork in and give it a little bit of a nudge.
Yeah, I mean, that is, yours moving quite well. But what can you also see, Melissa, with the doneness, is it starts to come up the side of the pan around here.
Yes.
How it's starting to. What we want to do is wait until we get to about halfway or just under halfway, and then we can turn it. You want to only do once and again, because otherwise if you're constantly turning, you don't get that nice even graduation of doneness through it. Like, I reckon you can probably turn over now, because we're going to finish this one off in the oven. So if you just turn that one over.
Oh, yeah, look.
That's lovely. And I
Shall I
reckon you
turn
can
mine?
turn yours over as well now. Just be careful, that looks great. So what's happened with yours as well, because we've got that not too fiercer cooking, that fat in there is starting to render down quite nicely.
I see,
Right?
yeah, and it's not
And it's not
distorted.
going to be all flabby fat, it's just going to be nice, crispy.
But it hasn't distorted the steak either.
No. So we probably did about 3 minutes on that side, so I think we'll do the same on the other side. And what we'll do is then just pop a little bit of butter in
With the oil?
with the oil.
Okay.
Hannah, in my mind, this looks charcoal around the edges. It looks as if it's burnt.
It's not burnt, it is starting to get quite brown around there. What we can do, I think probably your pan was just starting to smoke a bit too much earlier on, and that's why we turned it down. So what we'll do is just be careful when we put it into the oven, that the oven's not too high. And what we'll do is actually transfer it onto a baking sheet so it's not going to stay in that really, really hot pan and end up getting too caught on the outside. Right, let's pop some butter in. So if you just pop in maybe about half of that little piece that's there.
Just in one
Yeah,
go?
that's lovely. And then just give that a good...
Move it around?
Yeah, and we'll do about 30 seconds or so with that butter, and we'll do another 30 seconds on the other side. Do you want butter in yours? I don't think we need to actually with that one. I think we'll probably just do it with that one.
What will butter do?
It will add, it'll add a little bit more flavour to it. And as you can see on that one, how it's got really kind of caramelised. We're going to be putting it into the oven, and it's going in for quite a long time. And in the oven for a long time with butter around it, it's going to get too...
Caramelised?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
All right. Pop that one into the oven.
I'm going to turn this...
That's lovely. Should we take that one off now?
Yeah, I think this is right. To turn it off?
Oh, Tommy, that is beautiful.
Yeah, see, I didn't know I had this skill. I really didn't know. There we go. We put that there, it can smoke away. Now, how long before I can test it?
About 5 minutes. Can you wait?
I've got to rest it, and I keep forgetting about this resting lark.
Because what you'll do is you'll just end up getting blood all over the board. We're medium for this one, aren't we? So we'll do about 5 minutes and then we'll check it. Do you reckon you can cut in?
5 minutes, I don't care. I can't wait any longer. And this now, there's no need to season it, of course. Right, so what I'll do, I'll just remove this little piece here to one side, and then I'm gonna... Beautiful, see the blood in there? That is perfect.
What next? Should we
So
take...
we're going to take your steak out of the oven now.
Lovely.
Right.
Oh, look, I can see this now. The juice is coming out.
Yeah. Are you going to go for that now?
Already?
Yes, there we go. Yeah, we'll cut in.
And any particular way? Do I have to follow the grain, or can I just chop
No,
in?
you can just, because your grain's running down through that way, if you imagine the fillets.
Okay.
That's how you like it. Medium to well done.
Yeah. Can I share this with you two? Hannah, Tommy?
Well, it'd be rude not to share it. Oh, it's lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
10 out of 10.